Hello YouTube, welcome to my Chouette video. A Chouette is a form of backgammon that will allow more than two people to enjoy playing at the same time. If you enjoy playing backgammon, you may find that playing a Chouette is both more fun and more instructive than waiting your turn behind 3 or 4 other backgammon players. The main reason Chouettes are not more popular is because it requires keeping track of all the players' scores and play order, which can seem more complicated than scoring a bowling game. However, in this video, I'm going to show you an online tool that will manage each player's scores and play order for you. It will monitor the player's points, his cube, his number of drops, gammons, backgammons, all the things that will come up during a regular backgammon game. So let's imagine that a few people want to play backgammon together. They're going to try a Chouette on this site. First, we need to put somebody in the box. The box is the player that's going to play against everyone else. So we're going to put Al in the box. And everyone else is the team. The team is led by the captain, who we're going to say is Ben. And Ben is going to be the captain, so he's going to be the one who's rolling the dice and deciding how the checkers are going to be played. And he's going to need some team members, so let's add Carl and David. David and Carl are on his team. And even though they are on the same team, nobody can actually advise the captain on how to play until a cube is passed. So, to get started, we'll just click Start Game. And we'll look at some scenarios that may arise if somebody was trying to score this Chouette. The first one is the simplest form, somebody wins. In this case, the box wins. Cubes have been passed, nobody dropped. And we'll see how this affects the scores and the play order. So over here we have Al in the box. He's going to win. Right now, no one has any points. So he's going to gain a point from each of the team members. So he's going to get 3 points. And each of the team members who gave up a point is going to go from 0 to -1. Since Al won, the captain lost, he's going to rotate to the end of the play order here. And Carl will move up into the captain position. So let's see what happened. This is the box win. So we're going to say box won a game. He didn't win a gammon or backgammon. So we're just going to click game. And you see Al has 3 points now. Ben is rotated to the bottom. Carl is the new captain. Each player has -1 point. Okay, let's look at the next scenario. In this case, somebody passed the cube. So now the team can actually discuss the game because the cube will have been passed. And after the cube is passed, who passes the cube? Carl passes the cube. Al is going to win. And we'll see how that affects the scores in the rotation. So, Carl passes the cube. And now Al has to decide whether to take it. He takes it. And when he takes it, you see that the game is now worth 2 points instead of just 1 point. And Al is going to win. So if the game is worth 2 points now, each player is going to give up 2 points. So they're going to go from -1 to -3. And each of those 2 points, each of those 2 points is going to go to Al. So he's going to do 6 points. So he's going to go from 3 to 9. Carl is going to rotate to the end of the play order, and David should become the new captain. So let's see how that looks. And you see, Al has 9 points. Carl rotated to the end of the play order. David is the new captain. Each team member has -3 points. And you should notice one other thing. The sum of all the scores will always equal 0 because they all started at 0 and no one can lose points without giving it to another player. So if you ever were scoring this on your own and the total scores is not 0, that means a mistake was made somewhere. Okay, next scenario. This time the box loses. Al passes the cube. Discussions can be had, and let's see how that affects the rotation. So Al passes the cube. Everybody accepts. We're now playing for 2 points. But instead of Al winning, David wins. So Al goes from the box and rotates to the end of the play order. David, who was the captain, now advances into the box position. And Ben is once again the captain. So you should be getting an idea how the Chouette is managed by it. So we're going to look at one more scenario. In this scenario, somebody drops. David, who is in the box, now passes the cube. And Ben doesn't like the position, so he wants to give up 1 point now instead of playing on and risking 2 points with the cube. But Carl and Al are content to continue. So let's see what that looks like. David passes the cube. Now instead of everybody taking it, Ben says, no, I don't want that cube. He drops out. Now Al and Carl can discuss the game, but Ben cannot. He's dropped out of the game. And you can see he went from -1 to -2. He already paid his point to David. So David went from -1 to 0. And now David wins. Wait, first let's accept the cube. And now they're playing for 2 points. So we should see David get 2 points from Carl and 2 points from Al, and he should go from 0 to 4 points, and Carl should rotate down to the bottom. And you can see that that's just what's happened. And this is basically how this site will manage the Chouette game for you. But we didn't cover all the scenarios. There are lots of other scenarios. For instance, we didn't cover what happens when you gammon or backgammon a player. But that is no different in Chouette than it is in a regular backgammon game. If you gammon them, they get twice the value of the cube. If you backgammon them, they get 3 times the value of the cube. Another scenario we didn't go over is if the team passes the cube to the person in the box, he doesn't have to accept all of them. He can accept some and refuse others. And if he wins the cube that he accepted, he can continue in the box position. The other thing, as you might expect, if your opponent passes you the cube and the position changes is to favor you, you can pass the cube back to the opponent, doubling the score each time. And you can pass the cube back and forth, doubling each time until the maximum value of 64 is reached. Now, if a cube is passed and there's 5 people playing and everybody drops except one, it's customary that that 5th player also drops as well. And it doesn't have to be one player. It could be any majority. And all this is decided at the beginning of the game among the players. If one player is left, then he has to drop, or if 2 players left, then they have to drop. All that is at the discretion of the players. Okay, you can find this site at www.fzzx.us/scores.html. So find some players and enjoy. Thank you for watching my video.